Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to this. Thank you very much for clicking in, as it were, to AAU TZM Podcasts. My name is Adamantium, and it's been a while since I've had a podcast where it's just me talking, so I'm going to be a little rusty on the general routine of what I do, because I'm so used to, just asking questions and commenting when I'm just interviewing other people. But it's been a while since I've done one by myself. But that aside, just the usual announcements for those of you listening to this on YouTube right now. My podcasts also exist on talkshoe.com. Down in the video description, you'll find a link to the call series where you can download and listen to the full MP3 versions of the podcast. You can download them there for free as well. Yep, there's that. The other thing that I wanted to make an announcement for is, in part, it links into the to the topic that we're going to be covering, and that is thoughts on revolution. And how that links into one of my announcements is that today, the day of this recording is the 5th of November 2013, and I'm going to be attending the march. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be meeting up with a few friends, and we're going to, see if we can spread some love and also some information as well. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, that's why I've had to upload this episode at 6 a.m. because I want to have that done and out of the way, and I know that it's at least up before I go, so I don't have to worry about it. There's that. If you want to listen to anything else that I do for the last, I think, over a year and a half now, but it's up to 25 episodes now. 25 fortnightly episodes of Adam's Musings, which is hosted on ukcollapseradio.com. Last night I had my latest segment where I was discussing an interview of sorts that I had with some cadets in the front lobby of the co-op. And that was interesting. But that aside, you can find those on there as well. I think the website at the moment is down, so I think you would have to go to ukcollapse.com to find the radio page. But when it comes to downloading mine, just type in Adam's Musings Talk Shoe, and you'll find the page where you can download them for free. Just like with this podcast, you can find those on TalkShoe as well. The only other announcement that I've got is, I've got one more announcement after that, but if you didn't know, I'm making a documentary at the moment that I've entitled Life on the Soapbox, and the trailer for it is already up on YouTube. You can find that there, and also the release date for it is going to be December 15th. That's the online release, but I'm going to be holding a premiere screening the day before. So Saturday 14th of December I'll be hosting the premiere screening there in the first floor function room of the Old House at Home pub in Maidstone, Kent. So if you're in that area around about that time, feel free to come along. It's going to be a free event. Just some chilled out movie watching and hanging out with people of like mind. So, I can't really think of anything better than that in a social setting. But the only other announcement I do have is that it is, however, my unfortunate task to inform you that once again we have failed to hold on to a sponsor. It went down when we were contacted by a special interest group directly tied to the design and manufacture of the chips, the RFID chips that were the sponsor of last month's show. but the special interest group, it goes by the name of Build a Burger Group. Is anyone familiar with Build a Bear Workshop? It's similar to that. But they were seeking to secrete the chip into their burger patties for the purposes of mass implantation of tracking devices. And we at AAU TZM Podcast we weren't prepared to be associated with such scoundrels, so we nullified our contract with them. And I must say, the last pay packet from them was rather larger than normal, 15 pence. That's pretty damn good, actually. That said, this podcast is brought to you by our new sponsor, LRAD Barney, or LRAD Barney, the long-range acoustic device that is currently going through beta testing, but shows real promise in the capacity to effectively diffuse crowd violence. This device is absolutely amazing, right? I mean, by using a hexadecimal algorithm with a broadband carrier wave augmented onto the signal, a steady pulse can be projected out to target specific individuals. In other words, we can beam a song into their inner ear and thus cease all violent action. Okay, this is groundbreaking stuff. I kid you not. And the one song that seems to that only becomes able to have the most effect is the song "I Love You" by Barney the Dinosaur. Now, yes, I can tell some of you may be thinking that this would be, a form of torture. However, the song only becomes torturous when exposed to this song on repeat for an extended period of time. Short-term exposure, however, has been shown in the beta test to have an almost immediate calming effect on the brain and can even easily turn a chokehold into a hug. So now, apparently, they were aiming to get these devices up and running and ready for today, the 5th of November. However, we need to be 100% sure of its effectiveness. Now, if you are interested to find out more, please visit www.barneybarneybarneybarneybarney.com. Moving on to the topic at hand. I'm going to be here with you talking about the idea of revolution, because it seems we're not all on the same page about this. I mean, first, let's define the word itself, taken from the Oxford Dictionary. Revolution, noun. A forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favour of a new system, or a dramatic and wide-reaching change in conditions, attitudes or operation, or an instance of revolving, the movement of an object in a circular or elliptical course around another or about its axis or centre. The origin, late Middle English from Old French, or from the late Latin revolutio, from revolver to roll back. Now, what does that mean for those seeking revolution? Which definition of revolution there would apply to the kind of revolution that you're seeking? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, really the kindest definition in terms of social change would be the second definition, a dramatic and wide-reaching change in conditions, attitudes or operation. That would be the only kind of revolution that I personally would agree with, because take for example the first definition, forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favour of a new system. Now, for those who feel that militancy is a good idea, then this is essentially what you're advocating. A forceful overthrow. That's not really going to achieve any lasting results, really, is it? Because it's a form of violence. But we'll get into that. I mean, what does it really mean when you say revolution? What do you really mean? I mean, I'd say most people would say revolution, just radical change. And yes, the kind of transitions and methods to put in place for a resource-based economy could be described as radical or revolutionary. I mean, I don't deny that there is that association that could be planted, but it's not like it has to just do that. I mean, if we're talking about a shifting in something, then why should it just be the way we live? Because for one thing, how can we be certain that the way we live is the only way that is possible? We know this to be false because we see people living in other different orientations, as it were, socioeconomically, different methodologies for providing standards of living, and we just need to weigh up what the most optimal method is. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the scientific method. It's the one that, as long as you're using it without any bias, without any kind of vested interest, then essentially you will always derive reality from your findings. Or your findings will always comport with reality. Because that's why opinion is actually inferior to, scientific theories, as it were. Because a lot of people mistake the term. They think theory just means an idea that you're pondering. That's not what theory means in science. It's it's something that is the highest position of data held by science. Facts are even inferior because facts are what explain theories. I.e., the theory of gravity, the theory of evolution. But that aside, what do you think? What do you think was ever achieved in any violent revolution? Maybe the murder of a particular individual. I mean, would you agree that in a sense the world wars in this country have been revolutions of sorts? They've just been the hyper-violent sorts of revolution. Why do you think that? That there's any kind of motivation behind war besides the monetary element? It's the idea of forcing a change, and whether that is the policies of a particular leader, or whether them going from alive to dead is the change that you wish to seek. It's still a change. So, and it fits completely with the first definition of revolution: forcible overthrow of a government or social order in favour of a new system.